International quality steel production requires adequate refining facility to strictly control the proportion of different steel components. In developed countries like England, America and Japan, emphasis is given on steel refining through advanced arc furnace process. For the very first time in Bangladesh, AKS has introduced electric arc furnace capable of large commercial steel production, matching true international standard. With an annual production capacity of 1.4 million metric tons, AKS melting unit is the single largest steel refining facility in the country. Major raw materials in steel production are scrap, HBI, carbon, lime and dolomite. Imported raw materials are carried from the mothership to Chittagong port by feeder vessels. After scrap and other raw materials reach the factory, they are first stored in dedicated scrapyard and silos. Then, the raw materials are transported to electric arc furnace through an automated conveyor belt. The operation of electric arc furnace requires uninterrupted power supply. The electricity from the national grid is distributed through an in-house substation to electric arc furnace and other supporting plants. Oxygen is another essential element in steel making. With a production capacity of 250 tons per day, AKS has the largest oxygen-producing plant in the country. In addition to oxygen, this facility also produces nitrogen and argon gases. In AKS, own dam is used to collect and harvest rainwater for steel making. This water is purified and reused utilizing own water treatment plant. In AKS plant, there are 2 electric arc furnaces. At the beginning of the melting process, scrap is charged through the opening of the preheated arc furnace. Electric arcing begins after closing the lid. A graphite electrode is used for arcing, which generates heat that melts the scrap. At this stage, lime, HBI and dolomite are gradually added. Then, oxygen and carbon are introduced in melted steel with the help of an injector. Oxygen reacts with different components in the steel bath, and carbon, phosphorus, manganese, silicon, aluminum oxides are formed. Oxides are lighter than molten steel and therefore float above as slag. This slag primarily contains impurities that are poured off by tilting the furnace in 15 degrees angle. At the end of this process, molten steel is collected in a ladle by bottom tapping. Ladle furnace is the secondary stage of steel refining. After removing the impurities, a sample of the molten steel is collected and sent to the laboratory for chemical composition evaluation. Depending on the results, necessary amount of fluxing and refining additives are added. In the LRF, the molten steel is reheated by arcing again with graphite electrode. A second sample is then collected and analyzed for adding necessary ferroalloy to produce particular grade of steel. During final stage of refining, argon gas is blown through the molten steel to eliminate the remaining impurities and homogenize the composition of the steel. After complete refining, molten steel enters the continuous casting stage. Here, The molten steel is discharged on a mold to form a casting billet suitable for using in the rolling mill. The cast billet is splashed with large amount of water to quickly cool and solidify. The solid billet is then cut to 12 meters length using an oxy cutter. The produced billet is reheated in a furnace that automatically enters the synchronized rolling mill process. AKS Rolling Mill consists of state-of-the-art 18-stand rolling line. The special feature of this rolling technology is the combination of horizontal and vertical rolling facility, which allows rolling of the billet without altering its mechanical properties. The rolled bar from hot rolling process passes quickly through the thermomechanical cooling system. Thermomechanical cooling results in different temperatures in the core and outer layer of the steel bar that is critical for achieving high strength yet high bending property of TMT steel. The steel bar is then cooled in a 120-meter long cooling bed. In the end, steel bars are made into bundles by automatic bundling machine and carried with magnetic crane for storage and onward dispatch. In addition to conserving water resource, AKS melting unit is equipped with advanced fume treatment plant to neutralize any possible environmental impact. The exhaust gases which are released during various stages of production are treated in this plant and released into the atmosphere as clean air. By introducing the first ever electric arc furnace, AKS is producing international quality construction steel in Bangladesh. Electric arc furnace has also opened a new horizon of possibilities to produce different kinds of steel in the country. AKS plant is now poised to produce diverse products like stainless steel, tool steel, HR coil, etc. for different needs. We appreciate your support in our aspiring journey.